Hello and welcome to MGP458. I'm Kevin. With me as ever, the Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
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 Oh, my plan worked, boys and girls. I'm in a new
worked.
chair. I'm sat in a new chair right now because I broke my chair and had to buy a new one. And then after we finished putting my new one together, I fixed the old one. And now Anna's in that, so we've both got a new chair. Kev's a genius.
Where did you get your chairs from? Because I need a new chair, and I don't trust all the chair sellers who are like, "This is the best chair you'll ever sit in."
The one I've got now is Secret Labs one, and it is excellent. The one I had before that Anna's now got is Anderseat, who did give it to us for free way back when, like 9 months ago. And it did break. I didn't deliberately break it. It did break. So I would recommend probably not get one of them. But after 4 hours
it
of
didn't break,
Secret
Kevin.
Labs, it's excellent.
You went back too far and it bent the screw.
Yeah.
And
So
then
it
the
broke.
screws were put back in and now it works.
You
Yeah, but
applied
it's-
immense weight to it, and it somehow broke.
It's an extra large chair made for extra large people. It wasn't that was the problem. There's 3 screws that hold the back of it on, and 2 of them had managed to come unscrewed completely, so it was only being held in by 1 screw with the others dangling about. So when I took the cover off of it, it had 2 screws just sort of sat in the bottom that had fallen out completely, and 1 that had been bent at a right angle. So I just took the middle one out. I've put the other 2 back in, and it seems to be holding fine now. But either way, after 8 or 9 months, that shouldn't have happened. So
But if you
that
hear
one
me
is now
scream, you
Anna's
know
chair.
why.
Yeah, and I've got a beautiful Secret Labs with
Great.
adjustable inbuilt lumbar support. Yeah, it's not pretend leather, so I can sit on it naked and it's fine because it's proper material. It's all good. I've got my egg cushion on it. After on stream last night, I did sit on an egg with the cushion and it didn't break. Live in front of thousands of people, I'm there, sat on an egg, and I just sat on it, and it was fine. I put it in a bag just to be on the safe side, but it was fine. It didn't break.
I genuinely thought I'd misheard you when you were like, "Oh yeah." No, I genuinely for a second then I was checking something because I couldn't remember how long it had been since we'd last recorded and what I'd done in the middle. So I was just having a quick look through my pictures while you were talking to you. Said egg, and I was like, "What?" So you could incubate a real egg there. You could go and
This cushion is so good that I
rob
put
a
an egg
nest.
in. I put an egg in the middle of the cushion, sat down on top of the egg, and the egg didn't break because the cushion formed around the egg to stop it breaking. It's a wonderful cushion. The cushion is as good as this chair, and it was a fraction of the price. So if I was recommending one of the 2, buy an egg cushion.
Well, I mean, I have a second bumhole that I need to nurture like you do, sir. So I'm all right.
No, but they're comfy though.
We've all got a second bumhole.
So while we're on the
Spiritually.
topic of your weight, I do want to ask a quick question, right? I went to Flip Out last week, and you've been there. You do stuff on that. And
It's true.
on the way in, they gave us this whole talk about how if you're over, well, the limits of their stuff in there as a very specific weight limit that I was literally under by kilograms, like a handful of kilograms. And I thought, Kev's taller than me. I'm not going to say you're heavier than me in any rude way. You're much taller than me. Like, you were taking your life into your hands, I think, jumping around on that. I felt like I was straining that place. And I'm surprised you jumped around so freely. The amount of kids I decimated while I was jumping around. There are many
Yeah, but when we
families.
go, there's only like us and 3 other people in there because we go to the sensory
okay.
sessions. So we have free reign. So I just flail around.
I had free
like
reign.
nobody's business. Yeah, but
Just
you
like-
were killing kids as you did it. It's
bugs
different.
off windscreens. It was ridiculous. It was very good fun, though. I don't know if I've told you. I think I tweeted about it, but we went in the Greggs there. Went all the way to the front. We're getting our lunch together, and I'm sort of thinking to myself, right, I've got to get like 9 sausage rolls and then whatever the kids are having. And whatever
I was going to
Claire's
say,
having.
what's everyone else having?
You know, planning it all out.
Sausage rolls, right?
And my littlest one, Ben, he just kind of goes, I don't feel very well. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute. You have something to eat, you'll feel better. And then while he's talking, he just went, blop, and just a massive sea of pink blackcurrant just covered the front of that Greg's to the point where like, it was
That's
just
so
a sea of it.
grim.
I went, I need a tissue, please, and they handed me one bit, and I was like, no, I need like the reel of tissue, please. Thinking that and while they're trying to get me a second piece of tissue, he carried on going, and I was like, oh my god. And there was this like Karen in the queue trying to step over it to order her sausage rolls, and I'm like, you need to stay back, you're treading in vomit. And she was just like, no, I'd have 3 sausage rolls, please. And yeah, so I had to apologise, and while I'm apologising, I'm going like, I'm really sorry. Did you get the crisps? And yeah, I'm so sorry. And the vegan sausage roll, is that in here? I'm really sorry. And we ordered some drinks as well, and Claire had to drag him out the shop. And I thought, right, now we're going into the flip-out place to bounce around for 2 hours. This is going to go down well. But we managed to survive not flooding flip-out, but we can't show our faces in that Greg's again. I genuinely stood outside the door thinking, do I go and buy them a gift? Just come back in and say, I'm really sorry. But we just chose to never return. So, yeah, if there's any signs in there next time you go saying no kids allowed, or, you know, if you vomit, you're cleaning it up, that sign was there because of me. I also went in your magazine shop, which is very cool.
It's a wonderful shop.
I ended up buying books for the rest of my family and not for me, which is I hate me. I hate
Why
it. I do this
do
at
you
Comic
do
Con.
that?
I don't know. It's ridiculous. I walked around every inch of it, left, and then my kids wanted to go in there because I was ahead of them. They were doing something else, and then they were like, "I want this. I want this. I want this." And I'm like, all right, fine. Everyone gets a book except Sheepdog. So yeah, but I mean, they did have the Pokemon books that I was getting off the internet in there, but I thought I've already got 5 of them to read. I shouldn't buy books 6 and 7 in there. That'd be a bit random. But when I want to read a magazine, I'll go back there. It was it was worth the hour drive. It was such a good shop. I'm surprised.
I did have the same problem in there. I was in there the other day, and I had the same problem in there. I always have. I wanted the Persona 5 manga, and no part 1.
Do you know?
And
I actually
nowhere ever has part 1s of anything.
I said that out loud near the till because my daughter was looking at the mangas. She's really into anime and manga at the moment, and I was pointing him out to her. I actually said, "Oh, Kev likes Persona. That's meant to be really good." And then I was like, "Oh, there's no book 1," and I made a point of trying to. Because I thought they need to learn these places. How do they expect people to pick them up on a whim?
I mean, I did go on Amazon afterwards, and there's no book 1 physically on Amazon either. You can only get it for Comixology. So maybe book 1s are just really hard to get hold of in general.
I can't decide if she's a psycho, but do you know what my daughter's solution to that was? She started on book 3 of some random series. I was like,
That's
what
hideous.
are you doing?
That's the worst thing I've ever heard. That's worse than the story about being sick in Greg's.
I said to her, I was like, I have got, because it was a shonen manga, so I said to her, well, you probably can read books 1 and 2 on my app. And she was like, I'll just start at book 3, it'll be fine, I'll figure it out. And I was like, right, cool, whatever you say. But yeah, her friend bought the same book, and I just thought, you lot are weird. Like, I couldn't join a party midway through. It just wouldn't. It's unacceptable. But yeah, no, she got a book. It was fine, whatever. But no, I just thought, that place is awesome. I'm surprised I haven't been there before. Rushton Lake's very good. We went in lots of shops. Ben did vomit outside the tiger as well. So
Oh,
He's
God.
vomiting
Yeah, the rain
everywhere.
of-
What are you doing to the poor kid if he's not even been bouncing yet?
well, no, that was after the bounce. I don't know what happened. He managed to go all the really still non-stressful stuff. He was fine, and then standing around, he was just like, "Oh, it's too much." I don't know. It was very bizarre. He wasn't allowed in school on the Monday because, well, their rule is 48 hours, and Mrs. Sheepdog was like, we shouldn't send him in. And I just thought I would have. I mean, he wasn't ill. He was just whatever it was. It was bizarre. I think Rushton Lakes just overwhelmed him. But it was very embarrassing every time. This woman stopped and was like, would you like a tissue? And I was like, I kind of just need his mum. Because she was in the shop. And I was like, I just don't know what to do. I was like, I think we've got wipes somewhere, but I don't know where they are. And so she just handed me one tissue and left while he was just going at it again. And I was like, oh my God. So when she came out, she gave me a bottle of water to pour on it. And in her head, I think she thought it would flow away. But all it did was disperse it even further. It was just an even bigger, wetter puddle. I was like, oh my word. So yeah, we might not be allowed back there. I might be banned from the whole... It is in Rushton itself, isn't it? That's not.
It's just
It's on the
outside Rushton.
outside, yeah.
Because I kept saying Rushton, and then I thought, for all I know, it's just Rushton Lakes, and Rushton is a
I'm
place
trying to
somewhere
convince
else.
Anna that we should buy a house the other side of the lake so that
I've
we
said
have all
yes.
those places on Deliveroo, and it's like a 10-minute walk to get there. It'd be perfect.
Get a little boat and row
Perfect.
across.
Oh, Wagamama
Exactly.
will never go out of business.
I know, I've got beef with that Wagamama. I went in there this week, having heard the adverts for the vegan fish and chips on the radio all month long. I was like, well, we're going to Wagamama, I'm going to have it. Oh, look, on the way in, I said, look, they've got the poster outside, I can have it. Walked in, would anyone like a vegan menu? Yes, please, I'll take the vegan menu. Got sat down, and I said to Anna, it's not on the menu, can you ask the man? And so she called him over and asked him, and he said, well, normally we have a separate thing out when we've got that in stock. Let me just check. And they didn't have the vegan fish and chips.
They had it the day before, Kevin.
Maybe
Well, that's
the
no
fisherman,
use to me, is it?
Maybe his rod was just dry. You know, he put his rod out, no fish came, no vegan fish appeared, and you're screwed.
So I had to make up for it by having all of the edamame beans. Just like all of them.
All of them.
All of them. I had them all over my meal because I had this rice thing that was basically rice with beans on the top of it. And then a big
Yeah,
bowl of
beanie
beans
rice.
as well. Yeah. I was just, beans everywhere. It was beautiful.
I
Love a
got
bean.
extra of them when I took Mrs. Sheepdog there. I was like, you got to get these edamame beans. And then she was like, yeah, they're all right. I've had enough of them. And I was like, well, there's like 1,000 left. So I tried to eat as many of them as I could. But because
You
we got
don't
extra.
eat the skin, do you? Because
No,
Kevin,
I don't. You already
the
told me
first
that Kev
time-
did that wrong. Although, that's probably why your
there was
fiber
no way-
levels dropped
yeah,
so much,
there was
Kev.
no way of me knowing. The first time I just bit into one and then realised this is probably wrong. When
Your
I
body
couldn't
was like, well,
chew
this
it.
is how much fibre I normally have. I'll assume this is the fibre I'm getting forever. And then you stopped eating the skins and the fibre went. But no, yeah, they gave us so many that I ended up leaving them there, which I don't normally do. Me leaving food behind in a restaurant just feels like leaving a child behind in a restaurant. I only do it sometimes. But
That's
yeah.
so funny.
But no, it was a very good place. I bounced till I stopped. It was. I'm a little bit miffed because we went for my daughter's birthday, and I got a good video of Ollie just going nuts in there, having the time of his life, and then a video of Ben, who was still feeling a little bit low, just slowly bouncing around in circles, all softly, like, yeah, I'm having a good time. And I went to see what my daughter and her friends were doing, and they were sat in a corner by a fan in the dark,
Yep.
like in a dark corner.
Yep.
And when they saw me lift up a camera, they all scuttled backwards. And I was like, just wanted to have a quick shot of you having fun. And they were like, we're just rested. And I was like, you've been here for about half an hour resting in this corner. Like,
Look, this is probably the last one of your teenage daughter's birthday parties you'll ever be invited to. I'm surprised
Oh,
there's still
God,
a
yeah.
thing.
No,
So,
I know, yeah.
That's a massive thing. You were allowed to go.
Yeah, I mean, I was there thinking, right, this is a real test here of whether I'm an unbearable parent or not. Which car she picks to drive, because I know I'm not saying she doesn't like her mum or me if we don't get to do it, but I was like, if she picks the mum's car, then that means I'm too embarrassing because my car's got more room, so there's a logical reason to pick my car. And so I put the question to her in the morning. She didn't answer straight away, and I was like, oh, for God's sake. And then when it come to pick, she was like, oh, yeah, well, we'll go in your car, it's bigger. And I was like, yes, that means I am not uncool enough that she needed to avoid me yet. I know it will come in future, but I regretted that decision. I sat in that car while they sang the entire way there, and I kept thinking, there's one way to stop this. I could just sing. I could just
that's
break
the
into...
easiest solution. Sing along with them, and then they
Yeah.
all stop instantly.
They had, like, We Don't Talk About Bruno on. They had, the Precious song from that same film and all of this. And I'm just there thinking, right. And then
It's all Anna's had on all week.
Yeah.
Just Encanto songs constantly.
I love
they
it.
had all
It's
these
great.
random Korean songs on that I didn't know and stuff like this because they're all into their K-pop. And on the way home, one of them was like, put Disney songs on. That's what I call Disney. And I was like, okay, like this makes me feel like they're still just young enough they don't mind Disney songs. But then all the ones I like, they were just slagging off, what's this song? And Emily's like, it's from the Aristocats. The Aristocats is awesome. And they're like, I don't even know what that film is. Get rid of it. It's rubbish. And I just thought, ugh. But they just sung and sung and sung. And I was just staring. It was dark on the way home, and I was just staring into the blackness in the distance, thinking, "It's only 45 minutes. It's only 44 minutes. It's only 43 minutes." But that was all right. It was fun. I felt good. I got to drive him there and back. I'm not a loser apparently yet. I'm not a terrible, boring, lame dad yet. But I think 14, she'll be like, "No, you're not driving us anywhere. Just shut up and give me the money." That'll be the thing.
Absolutely. We should probably talk about some video games because it's been the most important video game day of the year for you specifically.
Yeah.
There's a new Poke game out, and we've almost all got it, but Anna's still holding out. because she needs convincing. So in addition to us explaining what we think of Pokemon Legends Arceus, we also, between the three of us, need to decide whether or not Anna's going to get it, because I've offered to buy it for her, but she doesn't want to waste my money, bless her.
I mean,
so
Sheepdog's got a spare copy now.
Well, no, I haven't got a spare copy, but between us we do own 4. You lot are absolute swines for putting this in my head, but I spoke to Amazon because they were like, yeah, we're going to deliver it Saturday, and I was just like, no, I need it Friday. And they kept saying, oh, let's see what we can do. So then this morning it was like, no, it's coming tomorrow. So I went and had a massive rant at them on their chat, and they were like, we're really sorry, here's a £10 voucher. And I just thought, right, that immediately made me think, right, okay, if I'm getting it 10 quid cheaper, I mean, Mrs. Sheepdog had already told me I could absolutely get a copy for Ollie if I wanted to. I should get him a copy. But I was kind of holding off thinking it's only a day. But when that happened, I was like, right, screw it. He's getting a copy tomorrow. I'm going to get him his copy as a digital copy now for myself. And by like 9:30 this morning, I had it, Pab. I mean, I must have been on Amazon first thing before I started work shouting at them. So I've had it since like 9 o'clock this morning, but couldn't play it because I kept thinking, well, I could play it at lunchtime. And I was like, well, no, I can't say, oh, I'm streaming it at 7 and then everyone comes on and I'm already 2 hours into it. I feel like I'd have been a bit of a monster. So I withheld from it. But all day people have been saying to me, oh, I've just started. It's really good. It's the best Pokemon game in years and all of this. And I've been like, please don't tell me anymore. Like, I don't want to accidentally hear that you've caught something that I don't know exists, because this is the first time since, God, I don't know, like probably Gen 5 or 6 that I've not known all the Pokemon in it beforehand. For Gen 7 and 8, it's just, not because I went looking for it. I'd be on a Reddit group and someone would be like, oh, the Pokedex has just leaked. What do you think of these 10 new Pokemon or whatever? And they'd be announcing them one by one. But this time they seem to have kept it really close to their chest. They've announced like a couple of like forms, variations. So instead, Voltorb isn't this electric Pokemon like it is in all the other versions. It's a grass Pokemon in this one, and another Pokemon used to be able to evolve, but now in the normal, in the modern Pokemon games it can't. But in this one it can, and they brought those bits out for the adverts, but they've also kind of hinted that the starter Pokemon don't evolve into what they normally do. But I've avoided finding out anything more. They put a video out saying, find out what they evolve into. I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. So there's lots of bits. I mean, I don't know if you saw on my stream, Kev, there was a statue. And I was like, I have no idea what Pokemon that is. It was just a little statue. And I was like, I genuinely don't know if that's a Pokemon that I should know, whether it's a Pokemon I do know. So I'm loving it because I'm just thinking, this is completely unknown for me. I have no idea what anything is. All I know is that if it's like one type, it's weak against another type and that kind of thing. Everything else is absolutely clean slate. It's just fun. It's exciting.
You'll be glad to know my Amazon copy arrived today as planned. So,
after they told me that it wasn't coming today, I got another note saying, oh, but these bits are all coming today. And it was the case that the cartridge comes in. And the Pokeball came. So I don't know what the hell I'm receiving tomorrow if I'm just getting a little cartridge through the door.
Well, no, the steel box thing is separate to the main game.
I knew I was trying to be lame. But no, I got the steel box and I got the Pokeball and I got a digital copy of the game that I bought separately. And I was just like, this is freaking ridiculous. I mean, if I'm really honest, I would have rathered the game arrive after the fact today. I'd have gone back to Amazon and given them another kick. I think if it had finally arrived, I'd have felt justified in going back to them and going, you swines, because of your ineptitude, I've bought a copy of the game, and I would have kicked them until they did something about it. But the fact that it's still not arriving until tomorrow means I just kind of had to suck it up and go, yeah, fair enough. Ollie's excited. He's very excited that he's getting it tomorrow. It's come at the right time because he needs a haircut. So I've said, well, if you get your haircut, you can. If it arrives in time, you can play it while you get it cut. If it doesn't arrive, you can have the game when you come back from the barbers. So that's done me a bit of a favour because he looks like a caveman at the moment. His hair's ridiculous. It's not been cut in ages. So this game's going to sort him out. But so anyway,
have the same problem.
Yeah, I can imagine. I knew you'd get it. But yeah, how are you two finding it, Pab and Kev? Because I'm thinking it's brilliant from a lore, from a story, from an unknown Pokemon stuff point of view. But as a game, what do you reckon?
It's just the is it the wild zone? Is that what it was in the last one, or the
wild area? Yeah,
wild? It's just a big version. There doesn't seem to be anything to it at the moment. I'm enjoying it, but I could do with a bit of story in there, a bit of what's going on. Yeah, I've fallen out of the sky, but I'm quite a bit further on than you, and I'm still just kind of wandering about catching Pokemon without any real purpose to it. It's like, well, this is going to get old at some point. I'm probably 4 or 5 hours in.
It
The
does feel
story
weird how
needs
much
to
they
kick
take
in.
it. They've just taken it in their strides, haven't they? They've kind of gone, yeah, person fell out of the sky, and they can catch Pokemon. What a catch! Brilliant, off you pop. So yeah, I see what you mean, and I assumed I just wasn't at that point yet where it kicked in, because
I imagine it does at some point. There'll be
it
some
has to.
story at some point, but at the moment, it's a bit odd. I don't know how much I can say without you going, don't tell me that. There don't seem to be any gyms from what I can tell.
no, it's pre-gyms.
Yeah, so it's weird the way the gym mechanic works, because it's
Yes,
not a
from-
gym.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, instead of a gym mechanic, you're ranking up your stars like a McDonald's worker. Basically, you show your value, you show your skills and ability, you get a star. It's I think I've got 1 or 2 at this point where I am. I've just got an alpha Pokemon, and
yeah, it seems a little bit odd that it's really incentivizing just catching a gazillion Pokemon. So I'm just like catching everything because that's how you're leveling up, and it's like, oh, I don't want to catch everything. I just want to. I'm used to going from place to place in Pokemon and having a reason for going somewhere, and I'm just kind of going from Pokemon to Pokemon and catching them. And I am enjoying that element of it, but I don't know what longevity it's going to have for me if it doesn't.
yeah,
hook
you
me
need
in
like a
soon.
villain to cause some trouble. Or I think we can get away with describing like the first 90 seconds of it. It's a bit of a bizarre. You would have expected, given where you are 5 hours in, that they would have followed on from. But it's like you're kind of just told, "Oh, you need to." Well, I won't go into great detail. You're just told, you're needed to do something, and then you wake up in this area, and they're like, "You just fell out of the sky. What the hell?" And from what Kev's saying, they're all a bit like, "Oh wow, you fell out of the sky. Go catch some Pokemon." And then it's 5 hours later, and you're still doing that.
Are we the baddies?
So this is the thing that I guess the game's going to tell us, because that's, again, it's not a spoiler to say this because it was in the advert, but so in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Team Galactic are the big bad people who want to restart the world. They want to use the power of Arceus to restart time and whatever, and you thwart them in that game. It's not really a spoiler. You're the goodie. So in this game, you fall out of the sky, you're in this town, and they're the Galaxy team, and it's like, hang on a minute, are you not somehow related to these people that were trying to destroy the timeline and change things in the other game? And you're in the same region as that game, so it is all linked in that way, and it's the same legends and stuff. And so just making a bold assumption, you would assume that at some point in the game you start suspecting something's afoul, and the story would be around that. But like you say, 5 hours in, it hasn't started. I'm surprised to hear that. I'm probably 3 hours in, roughly. That's how long my stream was, so I don't know whether I took longer. I know one warning for everyone listening: I thought it'd be hilarious to, instead of running everywhere, to just roll everywhere, and I rolled like 20 times in a row, and then my game restarted.
Oh God!
Absolutely threw me. Not at the beginning of the game. It just reset the switch. I was like, no. Luckily, it only dropped me back.
There
about
are a
2
few
minutes.
little odd bugs in it. There was one point where mine just every menu was forcing itself to the right, and I had to restart the game. So every time you'd open a menu, it'd just scroll all the way to the right, as if the analog stick was stuck down. But it wasn't, because I'd gone to the main menu of the Switch and it wasn't doing it. But in game, I couldn't do
Weird.
anything because the menu was just flying to the right. It was really weird. So I think it is a little bit glitchy in places at the moment, which is surprising.
Did you patch yours? Because it had a
Yeah,
patch.
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, just check, because I haven't had that happen, but it did have a patch this morning. One would assume they'd do another patch. But no, I don't know what to think with that story thing, because early on, I guess they're getting you to do all of the.
I mean, there's a lot of new mechanics that they've got to teach us. It's a new way of playing the game. I've done stuff that I've never done in poker. I mean, I've died, like not me, but I've had my entire team wiped out. I don't ever remember that happening to me in a Pokemon game before, but everything seems to be higher level than it would normally be. Like, normally when you do the first battle against your rival, you wipe the floor with him. Well, my starter got killed by him. If I didn't have a second Pokemon there, I'd have lost the first battle against Rival Boy. And that's different. It's like they've put the difficulty up a little bit as well.
Mine killed my starter as well, actually, thinking about it. The rival did. I did a roly-poly off a hill and nearly died.
Yeah, I jumped off a cliff, yeah.
It's definitely more brutal. It's quite funny because we were joking in my stream that the amount of times it would go, be careful out there, like this is, you could get hurt. And I'm like, it's a freaking Bidoof, like it ain't going to hurt me. And then, as I say, I rolled off a cliff. So.
I also need to get a little bit better about telling the difference between the normal Pokemon and the big, scary, powerful ones that are just wandering around. I wandered into an area, had some Ponytars in it. There were 3. 2 of them were level 4 and level 5. The third one was level 40.
There was a Rapidash, though, at that point. That was the adult version.
Yeah, but I can't tell the difference. So I mean, massive. I can't tell. Yeah, but I can't tell the difference. They're just all fiery horses.
Yeah. Now, I still tried to catch that, and it did teach me a lesson. I was trying to see how clever the game was. Like, it chased me, and I thought, right, if I run in the water, will it follow me? But it kind of despawned behind me, and I was like, oh, that's a shame. It would have been really cool if it had ran to the edge of the water but stopped because it's a fire type. You know what I mean? A little extra difference of, well, I can't go in there, can I? I made a fire. I'll just wait out.
I ran in the water trying to get away from one and ended up drowning.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually drowned or whether it just re-put me back up on the. But a guy wouldn't let me through a bridge because I didn't have the high enough stars, and I accidentally walked. I keep going to press crouch, and I press roll, and I just rolled off the bridge, and then I thought, oh, you can swim, and then I didn't swim, and I spawned back on the bridge, but the screen went a bit like I died, and I wasn't sure how it worked, but. No, I mean, part of me wonders. I was going to say you've got your normal tasks, the quests in the game, and then you've got the side kind of what they called like errands, I guess. Where someone will go, "I'll catch me a Wurmple," or "I want to see a Weasel that's big," and stuff like that. I'm guessing, like you say, maybe they're just chucking them in first off to get you into the hang of it all, and then the story's got to kick in, isn't it? It seems, unless there's someone you need to speak to back at the building and you've just happened to have not done that. I don't know. Like I'll have another go on it Sunday, and I'll see if I'm at the end of my stream on Sunday, which would be 6 hours in, and the story ain't kicked on. Then we'll recap on the next podcast and say when it did, I suppose. But yeah,
Just to clarify, I am enjoying it. I was giving the counters to Sheepdog's positivity. I agree with all the positive stuff. I am having fun. I did turn it on at like 5:30 and turned it off as we hit record on the podcast. So the fact that I've played it solidly like that when I'm supposed to be preparing for the Streamer Showdown suggests that I am enjoying it. Pabby, you've been streaming it this evening as well, haven't you? How far into it are you?
About 3.5 hours.
Okay.
Roughly the same, probably the same sort of point as Sheepdog, pretty much. I didn't catch the Rapidash. I immediately went to catch it and then realised what I was up against. I went, nope, just stayed away. I went, nope. I like it's like real-time battle. As it were, it doesn't like go into like a battle like menu like you would do like a traditional RPG.
Yeah,
it's still turn-based though, isn't it?
It is still turn-based, but you
battle,
were literally stood on the battlefield.
Yeah, and
you can run around it. I've at one point I thought, can I just stand in front of him? Can I just stand in front of the Pokemon and just kind of block stuff? And he can't.
Well, I ran in front of one, and when it did its move, my character fell to the floor. I thought I'd been killed. Couldn't believe it. But it didn't seem to hurt me. It hurt my Shinx it was I had in, or whatever it evolves into. It went down to like red, but I thought I'd been hurt because my character just flopped to the floor like a ragdoll. So I don't know whether it did hurt or whether it's just well, you're in the way, so of course you got knocked down. But I did similarly run into the middle of it, trying it out early on, and I kept thinking nothing was happening, but there was definitely a point where my character flopped.
I didn't realise when I started a battle with two pokies nearby, they'd both get involved in it as well.
Yes.
That was a bit of a shock.
I didn't know that
back
either.
off,
I've not had that.
extra one. Oh, that's happened to me a couple of times now.
Yep. I was like, what are you getting involved for? What's this got to do with you? It's between me and this shinks here. What are you getting involved for? And I was like, no, you've both got to die now because you killed my Bidoof.
I quite enjoyed that I threw a ball at one when the two were next to each other, and the other one tried to run, and while the ball hadn't even finished catching its friend, I caught them both, and I was like, yeah, you and your mum and your dad, and you know, just going through them all. But yeah, it's me. I was going to say it's exceeding expectations, but I had extremely high expectations, so I'm going to say it's meeting expectations, and I hope it still is in a week's time because... Oh man, I was well giddy. I was planning on streaming at 7 and it was 6:30 and I was like, it's too early, I can't go on now. And I just sat there for a bit and I was like, I'm going to go on in 50, I'm going to meet myself in the middle, I'm going to go on at 6:45 and just like, there'll be no one there, but I'll start. But then when everyone was in, it was usual sort of people in watching it because it's just hype day, wasn't it? Everyone's up for it today. All the groups and things I'm in have been excited about it and yeah, it's nice. I love it. It's not often these days happen for a loser like me who doesn't like it is popular. I mean, I don't have as many popular likes as someone like Anna who has a new game every day. But,
Excuse me? I haven't had any new games.
Yeah, don't get us started on that.
But no, you when things are running normally, you do. Do you know what I mean? When things are in a normal period, you can be like, oh, I've got a very busy 6 months ahead, whereas I feel like I'm looking at the rest of the year thinking, oh man, gonna have to really broaden my horizons this after this month. And once I've completed this, I'm just gonna be like, oh man. Although there was rumours that they're bringing out Gen 9 this year, and I can't see that being true.
No.
They would have announced it by now. There was a big, strong rumour, and someone told me in another group, because I was like, no, I've already read it, it's nonsense. And then they were like, this I know someone who knows the guy who runs the Cerebi website, and he was like, oh, don't be so sure. And I thought, well, what do you know? So I'm sure it's not going to happen. It can't. It'd be mental to release like another mainline Gen 9 game at the end of the year, wouldn't it? It'd be like, that's too quick, surely. I don't know.
Depends how much money they want to make. Without me being just Mr. Negativity about it as well, there's one other thing that I found a little bit jarring, mainly because coming straight off of Fire Emblem, which I've been playing loads of, which is completely voice acted throughout.
Yes.
It's 2022.
Yep.
Why have I got to read everything? There's no voice acting at all in this ridiculous game. What is that all about?
I think the reason behind that is that these games take up way more space than maybe they should. I don't know. Like maybe they shouldn't take up this much space. But I was looking into it on the last gen, and I've been kind of interested in it because it's something that's always leveled at them. But they only ever put these games on I think it's a 16 gig cart. It might be less, but it's like they make the games about 13, 14 gig, and they always put it on a 60 gig cart. And it is one of those where they could build it into a slightly bigger one. I don't know what Fire Emblem comes on, but
or they could just have the voices as a download. There's plenty of games that have done that in the past, where you just pick your region for the download and you just do it as a download when the game comes out. You don't have to have all the voice acting on the cartridge, because then you've got to have it for all the different nationalities.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's where I was going with it, and I know you know that anyway. I'm not trying to say it for your benefit so much, but that was always my reasoning when I would explain it to people. But what they do kind of have, the reason they don't put all the Pokemon in is because when they line up all, I mean, it's like what 900 sprites plus all the movements and whatever. It becomes quite hefty. And I was looking at the stats for like Breath of the Wild, and they only had like, I think it might be that they programmed it cleverly, but there was like less than 30 sprites, and they were just using them as different shapes and sizes and colours or whatever. Whereas this is obviously 900 different ones, and they change the colours on the shinies or whatever. But beyond that, it's they also have the items. So there's a lot more sprites in this than a lot of games. I mean, I've seen a few counter arguments where someone brought up not Dragon Age. What's it called? Dragon Quest game that had a lot of sprites in it and apparently looked beautiful. But I mean, this looks good. It does look good compared to the other games, even though I thought they were fine themselves. I don't know. Part of me feels like as well they just don't bother, because why do they need to from their point of view? I feel
because
like
it's
you're
2022
right.
now.
I do feel like you're right, but I don't know. I feel like they might just be thinking we're doing all right without it, aren't we? Which,
Oh, that's a terrible attitude.
yeah, it is. It's an awkward attitude, isn't it? And I don't get me. I think it'd be quite fun to have say if they could do a Gen 9 with all by that point, 1,050 Pokemon with voice acting and a proper solid, lots of featured games, then I think that'd be cool. Part of me thinks it would be really frustrating trying to catch 1,000 Pokemon. Not that's what you asked for, but that's what a lot of people have been asking for online. Why can't I play a game where they're all in it? And when they first said it, I was very much on side. Yeah, I want to catch them all. Whereas now when I'm playing Diamond and Pearl, I'm like, oh my God, I've only caught 300 out of the 450. And I honestly don't know where else to look. Like, this is getting to the point where this is too much effort. I said to some of the people on my stream, I might just sit and play this over Sunday, just running around in circles. And then I thought, I don't really want to spend unless I'm doing 4 other things, I'm not going to have the attention span to sit and do this at the same time. So I don't think they ever should particularly make a game with all 1,000 in, because that just seems mental. But I don't know. Voice acting can be hit and miss, can't it, as well? If they get a really bad dub, it could sink the whole thing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a bit too, it would annoy me personally, but...
It's just a few things, I think. Like you said, size, possibly. The download thing is a way around it, I suppose, but then not everyone's connected to the internet, so...
Well, then they don't get the voice acting.
Exactly. The other thing is probably cost. They're keeping the cost down on it, because it probably costs
Their
them...
Nintendo, their Pokemon.
Their Game Freak.
Yeah, I mean,
Nintendo will publish it. Game Freak make it.
I'm sure they get plenty of money from
Oh, they
it.
probably do. They do.
They're a weirdly small team for the amount of money that the whole IP makes. They're only 80 people, I think it was. And I don't know if that's... I mean, I don't know how that compares to a lot of games, but for the whole thing, it's that many roughly, or it was for Gen 8, I remember reading. And it baffles me, really. You sort of, like Kev's kind of saying, you would think the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and Nintendo would be like, do you know what? Let's... if they're doing some weird, I'm trying to think of a number that would work, like 40, 40, 20, and Game Freak are getting the 20. It's like, maybe make that 33, 33, 33, and just make the games... I'm just throwing out numbers randomly, thinking, surely you want to put a bit more towards that to eke out more. But maybe they're thinking, well, these games are already the best sellers, some of the best sellers Nintendo have. It's hard to see where the incentive is, and like Kev said, it's a terrible attitude, but it is hard to see where the incentive is. I bloody love them.
Yeah, there's that as well. Like
they
you said,
sell well.
They don't need to.
They're aimed at Oliver's age, not our age, really. Even though we play them, they are aimed at children. And that's again not an excuse, because this game isn't so much. And I think they know by now that there's far more people my age playing this than there are people Oliver's age. Far more. And the only ones his age playing it are the ones who get bought it by people like me who go, yes, you will like this.
Right. We're going to put an advert in, and then when we come back, we're going to tell Anna whether or not she needs to buy it or not. Pabby, that was a great advert. And now, based on our extensive knowledge of what Anna likes and dislikes in video games and what we've played so far of the new Pokey, is she going to like it, do you think?
Oh.
I mean, I don't... negatives I can think of it doesn't have the kind of humour that I would... If I play a game and it has quite funny, jokey bits in it, and I'm like, that's quite funny, and I think this is the sort of game Anna would recommend because it's quite funny and entertaining. Doesn't have any of that yet that I've seen. It doesn't... One thing I used to notice all the Anna games had was like Borderlands with the little number counting as you shoot. It doesn't do that. I'd always be like, if a game has this, I'll just tell Anna to play it. She'll love that. She loves seeing the numbers jump up on the screen. Doesn't do that. So if the Pokemon attacking each other just went 1, 2, 50, a million, 1,000 billion, you'd be like, yeah, Anna, get on it. Trying to think of what else. I mean, on the other hand, you might like the cute Pokemon. I mean, there are some awesome... I was like walking along and there was like a little poster of a Togepi, and I just thought, I might get Emily to draw me that. I was like, I just felt compelled to have her draw me it. I was like, that's an awesome little picture. I want that on my wall. But yeah, it's got lots of cutie bits in it. I can't think of anything else that would make her want it though. Can you, Kev? Because you know better. I mean, can you, Pab? But Kev knows better, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure because I mean, to me, you look at it and it looks like Breath of the Wild. It's the same kind of art style, and she liked that and I didn't. So I look at that and think, well, if she liked that, she might like this because it looks like the same kind of thing. It's what I'm getting the same feelings on this that I got on that. It's just a lot of wandering around, nothing to do. I think I need my hands held a little bit more when I'm playing a game than maybe some of you lot do. I mean, and Anna's very much an explorer in games, whereas I want to be bang, 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 story beat after story beat.
Anna likes being told my cat's stuck in a tree, you know, spend £4 to release him. I remember that, Anna, getting those little things. But there was a guy who was like, none of my Pokemon let me knock stuff out of trees. If you go knock berries out of trees for me, I'll give you information and gifts in return for you doing it. So I can go on a little errand and pick up berries for him. And the more I give him, the more information, you know. So that's a bit of side story. He'll tell me things. And there was a guy who wanted me to catch him a Wurmple, and now he's named it. And I'm thinking there's probably going to be more to that. There's lots of little stories. I was going to say a bit like Red Dead, but they're not as involved as Red Dead. Obviously, it's not some major quest where you give a guy all the flowers in the game and then find out, you know, meet his wife at the end and that kind of thing. I don't think there's going to be any payoffs like that with these stories, but there are people who are like, I'm an artist, I can't remember what the ears on the Shinx look like. Can you go catch one for me? And you go out and you catch a Shinx, you bring it back to him. He goes, oh, they're yellow, brilliant. Cool. And then off you go, and you're thinking, what? You didn't remember they were yellow? I could have told you they were yellow, you idiot. I've got a picture of one in my pocket. But I'm guessing he'll have another quest later on, and it'll be a bit more, you know, maybe as my stars go up, the quests will get different from them or something. I hope so, because again, that feels like it'd be an odd way to, an odd miss, wouldn't it? You'd think they'd have constant random little quests coming out. But you like doing errands, don't you, Anna? Like little random quests?
Yeah. I'm just, no, I don't think I will want it. I'll just wander around the house, moody, until my game comes out next week. Because I really want to play it. And I know I'll get like this and I'll play it and I'll be like, don't like it. But you know what? I like the hype. I like the waiting. Well, I don't like the waiting because I really want it. But
just talking about the Dying Light game that's coming out next week, for those of you who are wondering.
Yeah, so the thing is Dying Light, and then you've got Horizon Forbidden West, and then you've got people who like Elden Ring. It's all coming, and it's all for me. And then we've got, what's her face, Tiny Tina. So I'm getting there. There's going to be a thing for me to play. I'm just...
Right, before Anna tells us about everything else she's waiting for, does anyone have any final thoughts on Pokemon to sum up before we move on to everything else?
I was going to say, Pab, we've not really let you speak that much. Sorry.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I got caught up on why am I wearing flip-flops everywhere initially. That annoyed the hell out of me.
Oh, I got changed straight away.
Yeah,
I'm wearing a
figured
tracksuit.
Clothes, and I was like, okay, I can't wear flip-flops anymore. This is not practical. The haircuts are minimal right now. I'm hoping
you
more.
Can't go pink. I was very sad.
I was like, you get 4 colours and 5 hairstyles, and like it's like 2 long hair, shaved head, short hair, or like braids. And you're like, okay, I'm hoping there's a big gap underneath where you could potentially they could get more haircuts in the future. But if it's the case, it's not a great deal of customization. Even though all the promo stuff has been like, oh, customize your character. Oh, I can have a blue flat cap. I can have a red flat cap. I can have a green flat cap.
Oh, the colours of the rainbow.
Every kind of flat cap and kimono you can have, but any other style, you're like, no. You don't want anything else. So I'm hoping for more customization. I'm hoping for more. I'm starting to wonder whether there will be, but I'm hoping for more like towns and villages like the one that you start in. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't know. And they'll have different stuff that you can do and different like styles and clothes and haircuts and all this different things.
This style and haircut thing is something I don't like for Pokemon games. I wish they'd get rid. Like personally, I wish they'd just drop it and let me just be the avatar that the character they want it to be, because it's meant to be Dawn from if anyone ever watched the anime. She's the one in the picture on the box. She's the one they always show in the adverts. But then I'm some random. Huh?
She can't be if they're letting you customize. You can't be. Well, it could be, but
Well, that's just what I mean. If you didn't customize or whatever, it's supposed to be Dawn. So, what I didn't really realize about Pokemon games is in Red and Blue, it's Red and Blue. Like, I knew that much, but in Diamond, Gold and Silver, the characters are Gold and Silver, and in the manga, that I've got, that's what they're called. And there's a girl called Green and a person called Yellow and all of this. And Dawn is one of the characters in that, I think, if I understand rightly. So in the lore of this is Dawn in the game. It was Dawn in Diamond and Pearl. It's Dawn in this, and it is a bit weird that you just make your own. It's a sheepdog. The blonde girl who runs around is a completely different person. But I know that they're customizing because people like to play as their avatars and whatever. I was trying to explain earlier. I always used to play as Emily, my daughter, so I'd make it look like my daughter. But then I didn't like that the diplomas always said, "Congratulations, Emily, you're a Pokemon master." And I was like, "Damn it! One day it has to say sheepdog." So I've changed it. But I feel like Pokemon went down a bit of a rabbit hole of adding in hairdresser. There is a hairdresser in the game. I don't think it has much. You must have to unlock stuff as you go.
That's 4 or 5 to begin with. So I'm wondering whether that person will get more styles available, or whether you go to a different town if there's a different town and they have a different hairstyles. I don't know. We'll wait and see for that one. The more like they've played it for this long, and the more I think about it, the more I think this is your town hub. You are going out into the wild and collecting stuff and doing the mission, like the mission sort of thing, and surveying the Pokemon. And I think this is the only town you're going to see.
It is meant to be the first town in the Hisuian region. People haven't settled there before. It's you're meant to be a research team. So it's going to be barren, and so it's going to be you. That is the only town you go to. Which is wrong. There should be. Which
then makes it feel like it's like half a game. Because if you look back at, what was it? It wasn't Diamond. What was the last proper one that wasn't a remake?
Sword and Shield.
Yeah, they had this, but then they had the Pokemon game alongside it. It just feels like half the game's missing.
I assumed this was meant to be more puzzles of, you get to ride certain Pokemon for certain things, like if it's a water place, if it's a mountain and whatever. I assumed there was going to be more puzzles involved. I guess it's going to end up, if it's as limited as, not as limited, that's the wrong word, but if it is what we've done so far is the game, it feels like it's purely a research, wander around, find out a bit of lore about the history of the region and what becomes the region from Gen 4. And maybe it's more of a... I mean, it could be just aimed more at diehards who want to know that kind of thing, but they've inadvertently, marketed it as Breath of the Wild Pokemon, and that'd be typical of them. Just market it to the hilt and then go, "Oh no, it's only for diehards." It's like, oh man.
It seems like to me, it felt like it was initially when you go through your research stuff, and it's like you need to do this many, you need to catch this many, to catch 2, 5, 10, 15, 25. I'm thinking, I've got to catch 25 of these Pokemon, then I've got to also defeat 25 of these, and I've got to watch 3, 5, and 7 evolve. I'm thinking, I'm going to be grinding on these individual Pokemon for hours. But I didn't realise I don't think you have to actually do that. You actually have to do a certain amount before you complete the amount of research on it, from what I could tell.
Yeah, you have to get 10, so you can... I think it's like a combination of them.
Yeah, to get to...
It's telling me I've completed Cyndaquil, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
I haven't evolved it yet, so...
No,
yeah,
okay, so I mean, I imagine probably, like you say, people who are trying to 100% it probably will do all of them things, but it's a lot of grinding to do that.
I plan to. I'll probably run out of steam well before I get to the end, but I plan to do that.
I was relieved when I saw the fact that it said like complete on it. I was like, okay, thank God, because I don't want to have to catch another 20 of these Pokemon or defeat them or watch them do these certain moves however many times. It seems like a lot. It seemed. I was like thinking this is just gonna be a grind game, and from the off you are just grinding. The second you step out the first town, what I do like is the crafting system sort of thing in here, that where you can like craft potions, craft Pokeballs anywhere on the go. You just need resources, and resources in the world just by trees, rocks, whatever it is, and that is useful. Not having to go back to towns to get supplies is probably useful. I mean, eventually, like say most Pokemon games, you have enough money that you stock up to not have to go. You could probably last hours out in the wild without having to go back to a town. But having that whole craft stuff for me seemed cool. It is again taking something from Breath of the Wild, where you have a crafting mechanics and cooking mechanics. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I say, Kev, you're further ahead, so you'll know, well, maybe a bit more. But it seems all right so far. It doesn't seem. It's not bad anyway. It's definitely not bad. It's good. I'm intrigued to play more. So that's positive.
Yes, I shall be I'll be playing it some more before I go to bed tonight. To
maybe me too.
Continue hunting for some story in it. We'll find some.
That's the thing as well. I don't know. Is there going to be like? I think you're right.
It can't just be going out into the wild area and catching Pokemon and then going back and having somebody count them.
That's what you are.
It can't just be that.
You've become a researcher. Compiling the first Pokedex.
That's got to be a temporary thing. We are.
No, I don't think it is.
We're working for the baddies. There must be a story here.
It does seem rather weird.
The whole thing falling from the sky thing has got to be a thing. Something's got to happen with the big ominous black cloud thing that you fell out of.
Yeah,
that's got to be something for sure. But I feel like the meat of this game is compiling that Pokedex and people grinding. I'm fairly certain it will be that. It's got to be. There'll be story in there. But I mean,
what do they do in like Monster Hunter-y games? Is that not a bit like
grinding?
This?
I was thinking the exact same thing, Sheepdog. When I was saying to you, there is one town and you do all the stuff. I was thinking Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter. Exactly, you have a main hub town. You then go out to the world. You go and hunt the monster. You kill it. You collect the resources out of it. You build your weapons, your armor, your stuff from it. You then go and do the exact same thing again because you need more of the pelts and the bones and the fins and what have you. Are these when you go out and do it again and you grind on these different. There is a story there, but it is minimal and it's kind of like it's relatively short in comparison to like what the actual end game is of Monster Hunter, and you just want to grind and work towards getting the better weapons and the better loot and stuff. So I feel like they've taken bits of Monster Hunter and bits of Breath of the Wild and kind of like just worked them together and made this something a bit different, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, like I say.
I worry that for the likes of Kev who want a big story, there might not be one, but then for the likes of me, it'll be like so that makes sense for this thing that I know about that. You know what I mean? It's like it makes sense to me because I've read about it before, I've noticed it in another game, or I know what it is. Like I mentioned this on my stream. The lady, one of the ladies said to my character, "Yeah, you can ride them like the rideable Pokemon in Alola," and I was like, "Hang on." People didn't settle in Alola until a certain point, and it was a very sheltered area, and it's only had people in it for a little while in the game that you play in Gen 7. They don't even have a Pokemon League, and it's all kind of it's quite a young community. There's some researchers there and stuff, but it's not like a big historic. I mean, for example, there's no fossil Pokemon there because things didn't live there until very recently, you know, that kind of thing. So the fact that she mentioned it in the past made me think, well, hang on, you can't be from here, because how would you have got all the way down to the Alola region and know about any of it and how would they have these rideable Pokemon there if you're from hundreds of years in the past? So there's little bits like that where I'm like, okay, A, that could be there's more story coming, but B, it just feels like there's little bits there that you wouldn't pick up on or notice unless you kind of knew the lore a lot. And I don't know, I don't know. It depends also if you get excited about new Pokemon. Do you know when these are new Pokemon and when they're just old Pokemon?
Not a clue.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know the name of my starter that I took.
Which, all right,
it's the one that looks a bit like a bear.
I'll
the
show
otter.
That's the one. Yeah, the one Sheepdog said.
It's an otter.
There you go. That's how much I care about the Pokemon.
Yeah, so this is it. So for me, it's exciting because I'm going to go and discover a load of Pokemon I've not seen before that didn't exist before this game. And I got to find them all. And yeah, I feel like it's probably aimed more at me than you, and I don't know. And it's a shame because I would equally like a good story, please, you know. But I guess maybe they're thinking, I don't know, maybe they're taking a punt and they'll figure out what people want from the next one and they'll improve. You know, it's meant to be a new thing for them, isn't it? But I don't know. I was chatting to someone earlier who was like, all I'm going to do this weekend is play Monster Hunter, and I thought there isn't a new one out, is there? Like, you must be playing.
Monster Hunter Rise came out on PC a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, right.
It came out on Switch last year, but it came out on PC 2 weeks ago.
Okay, now that's fair enough. Because I was like, my God, is he playing the one that came out a while back that I got? I was just like, hang on. But he's not the only person I know who plays it, and they love it. They play it non-stop. And I'm like, I played that for a couple of days and just felt like all I was doing was going home, being sent back out, going home, being sent back out. And
yeah, I didn't like that neither.
Yeah, and if that's what this is, it'd be interesting to see if I enjoy it because it's Pokemon. Or whether it gets tiresome, but I was itching to get out and find stuff before.
I have a question.
Go on.
Is there any multiplayer component to this game?
There's trading in there.
Yeah.
So what I'd like is like Monster Hunter. The fun part of Monster Hunter is you get 4 players in there and you go in hunting for monsters. I want 4-player open world.
Yeah. I don't think you can do
That'd
that.
be amazing.
That'd be cool for the future, wouldn't it? If they had like a level 100 Pokemon or a Pokemon raid, but it was more like that mechanic.
I have one final question about Pokemon.
Okay.
Does anyone have the recipe for potato mochi? Because I'm eating it every single day.
Yeah, I noticed that they're absolutely hooked on it, and I just thought, what is this? Is this just chips?
I don't know. It must be something like that. But I need to have it. If it's that good that Professor What's-His-Face orders it. He doesn't even ask them what they want. He just orders for everyone every day. Look, we're all having this. It's really good. Yeah, no, we had it for the last 3 days. Yeah, we're having it again. It's really good. Come on. Let's have some mochi.
Apparently, a mochi is a dough-like mass made from cooked, pounded, glutinous rice used in Japan as an unbaked pastry. So it's just pastry with potato in it.
Unbaked pastry.
I mean, it could be worse. Sounds all right.
So is it like a potato version of a sausage roll?
It sounds like it's a pie sandwich. That's why Pab's up for it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, he's eating a pie sandwich literally every day. His weird woolly hat's a good enough reason to play it as well, isn't it?
Oh,
It is a good hat.
chin strap. That's the right. I call him chin strap. Yeah, because he's got a chin strap on his hat for some reason.
To hold his hat on. Why else do you have a chin strap on your
It must
hat?
be really windy in that region because it's just his hat. Don't want his hat to blow off. He's just got a chin strap on it.
Anna, do you have anything you want to talk about? Because we've done nearly an hour on Pokemon and you've not played it.
Aren't you? You're lovely. And so I did buy the World of Final Fantasy. I played this years and years ago. So it's like got loads of Final Fantasy characters in it, and it's like Pokemon in a way, because you catch the chocobos and all the things that you fight. You can like throw a prism thing at them, and then you catch them, and then you not breed them, you like level them up so they like evolve and stuff. And I was all down for that. I was like, everyone's talking about Pokemon. I remember this game. I like Final Fantasy. And I put it in, and it says the last time I played it, I got to chapter 2. I was like, well, that's not very far. And now I know why. Because as much as I like Final Fantasy, and as much as I like the art style of it, and all the things about it, it is so childish. I can't play it. I am a 36-year-old woman, and I cannot be doing with the child dialogue that's in it. It just
that's
grinds
what put me off it. You asked me, didn't you, have I played it? And I was like, I do remember reviewing it on the podcast. I can't remember what I said about it, but I remember going off it after a couple of goes and just thinking it's a little bit too chibi, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and I know I've literally just been playing Diamond and Pearl, which was chibi style, but that was much more, like you say, babyish, and I don't know who it was aimed at.
No.
It's a weird one. Trying to get a new audience in, maybe, but I'm glad you confirmed you're 36, by the way, because I couldn't remember whether I was still 36. And I know we're the same age, so it's made my day knowing that I'm not 37 yet. And genuinely, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, I can't remember. So yeah, thanks for that. But it's a weird game, and it's interesting. I've never done a sequel, as far as I'm aware.
Like I like it. Like I like all of it, but the dialogue.
Yeah.
It just winds me, especially like because like they're twins, I want to say, and one of them is all like not stuck up but like confident, and she's always like calling her brother, and I'm just like, stop, just get on, and I can't deal with it. So I got to like chapter 5, and I was like, no, I can't deal with it. So I got further than last time, but now I know why. Because I sat there thinking, I like this. Why did I not play it? Because I remember buying it when I was like, now I remember.
I've got a question for you that's Final Fantasy related that you just reminded me. I was going to message you earlier because someone in a group I'm in keeps trying to recruit people to play Final Fantasy 14 because you can get to level, I think it's 60 now for free, and you know that's a lot of story in game and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, I don't want to get into an MMO. But have you ever? You played it at one point?
I've played it. Yeah, there's a lot. So as Kevin was going on about, there's a lot of reading. This has next to no voice acting. The only voice acting is in cutscenes. There's not many cutscenes. It is a lot of reading. And when I played it, you couldn't change the font size. So I was like, squint at screen. Like everything, again, I liked everything visually, but I just, like, reading it sounds interesting, but I just don't want to read that much. Do you know what I mean? But what I played, like I spent a whole morning once. It was a Sunday morning. I got up at 6, and from 6 till 11, I was just in somewhere, and I was just crafting like over and over and over. It was clothing, because I was trying to get like the high level clothing. I did that for 5 hours, just doing the same thing over and over again.
Sounds like me making daggers in Skyrim. I remember spending an entire afternoon making daggers.
Yeah, and that's why I can remember doing that. But like, I haven't played it for years, so maybe they've changed it. But yeah, there was a lot of reading back then. The only voice acting was in cutscenes. So I was like, I couldn't bother. But if you've got nothing to play and you like Final Fantasy, like they from when I've played it, there's been loads of like updates and new places to go. So maybe something to look into. Maybe they have put voice acting in it, but I couldn't stand all the reading. Because especially, I was just like, it's so small, because it's supposed to be on a computer screen, so you're not supposed to be like, I don't know, 8 foot away from the TV. Because obviously you play it on a PC, but it's alright, you know. If it's free to play up to a certain level, I wouldn't say no, but just not at the moment, because MMOs suck me in, and then I just have to try and get out of it, and it annoys me. But yeah, but like comparing it to Elder Scrolls, the one that's online, that has like every quest giver is voice acted, so it can't be that hard to put voice acting in it, especially as they keep, because they brought it out and then they had to do a reborn edition because the one they brought out was broken, like no one played it, so it was like the Realm Reborn, and that's the one I played. But I don't know. Have a look if you're interested. Go and see if it's still just.
I am still fearful of MMOs. I've never touched one. I feel like it would be the death of me. So yeah.
What I will say, Sheepdog.
Yes, mate.
You know what an MMO is, so you've seen MMOs.
Oh yeah. It's just I've avoided.
It's very much one of them. With a Final Fantasy wrapper on it. So it's not going to play like a Final Fantasy game. It's not going to... It's got the hotbars and the cooldowns and all that sort of thing that comes with an MMO. That's been said, this is probably one of the biggest and best MMOs rated out.
Well, that's what the claim was.
They've had... I mean, I don't even know if you'd be able to get on it at the minute, Sheepdog, because they had to take it off sale because there's that
no,
many
you can't
people
get on
trying to
it.
get into queued for it. You would queue for probably 4 or 5 hours to get into a server to get onto it. They might have cooled down a bit now, but when the latest release came out,
Was that what it was? A new release? Because that's what I think
new
that made them bring it
expansion,
up.
yeah.
They were saying that they just allowed people on, and this person was raving, and then they started saying, "Oh, you should all get in." And then they did mention, "I'm not even sure if you can at this point," and they went and verified. But I don't think anyone was planning on leaping on it. I certainly was like, "No, thank you. This would completely end my life. I know what I'm like. I would just I'd either play it and hate it and wish I hadn't wasted the time, or I'd get so deeply into it that." Mrs. Sheepdog would be coming in at 4 a.m. going, "What are you doing?" And I'd be dressed as a bloody, what they called, the little pink things. And, she'd just be like, "What on earth are you doing?" A Moogle. I'd be a Moogle. But no, I also wanted to know, and I don't mean to derail this, but I have questions about games, especially because you've been struggling to find them. None of us have played is it GTA RP? Is that what they call it? The RPG. I raided someone earlier who was playing as a police officer.
Yeah, I know about it. Yeah, I watched
this was really big in the summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, but none of us played it, did we?
Well, I'm not interested in that. It's weird.
It's different again, Sheepdog. You're on about GTA Online or GTA RP?
Yeah, the RP, I think I'm talking about there. Yeah,
RP is where you go on like a custom server and you play it. You make a character and you play as a character. I'm surprised
Anna's
in
not
that
had a
world.
double though.
I mean, you've got to apply to get on these servers and stuff like that and get approved, and you got to basically apply.
You got to be talking. Anna doesn't talk.
I know that
streamers do it. Yeah,
Anna likes GTA. She likes the kind of crimey games, and the funny humour of them. And I just thought to myself, that seemed when I raided earlier and it came on, I thought, I'm surprised Anna hasn't played this really. And then I
just get people on there playing as a policeman, pulling people over for speeding. Yeah, and it's like they just sit there. Oh, you're speeding. I'm pulling you over. You've been arrested. Resisting arrest. Oh, well, you're off to prison then. It's like, wow.
That's a bit weird, isn't it? Not weird, the wrong word, but it's a bit boring, is what I mean.
But it's a role. You're a role playing in a world, aren't you?
People go on there and be a taxi driver or something.
Yeah, taxi drivers, restaurant owners, restaurant workers, who work in like basically at a equivalent of McDonald's.
So was the idea that you would be the restaurant worker in a big server with hundreds of people? So if they come to buy food, you're like, "Here's your food."
Yeah.
Again, I just find it unusual.
But it's just it's role play. It's role play, isn't it? So you are a character, and you need money. You need money to you go and get a job. You'd go and get a job at the burger place. You work.
So the idea is then you get your wages and you go and do what you
go do what you want.
Do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or you can be a criminal. You can plan out to rob a bank, but that comes with risk of going to prison.
Because there'll be people playing as security guards, I suppose.
Yeah, there's people playing as prison security. There's lifers on it, where people just literally exist in the prison as a lifer.
Amazing. There you go, Anna. You could do that for a couple of weeks. Go to prison. I mean, I know you've already been. But...
No, thank you. Did you know that there is a first-person mode in Pokemon?
Yeah, you hold left trigger.
Yeah, in Arceus, you mean?
They just said, this isn't a glitch or a clever camera trick either. Just press the ZL button. And when you're focusing on Pokemon.
Why would anyone want first person in any game ever?
Just while you're looking at the Pokemon, you can get
I mean, it might be handy.
It's just focusing on them, isn't it?
Yeah.
I keep hurling the balls over them or to their feet. I can't believe, I think
you should have to point the targeting straight at them.
Yeah, well,
you don't take into account distance or anything like that.
I keep landing it at their feet like I'm making the perfectly weighted football pass. It's like if those Pokemon could volley, we'd be scoring goals left, right, and centre. Be like the bloody, the Mo Salah of Pokemon. I'd be just setting them up. My assists would be sky high. But anyway. Any more games? Because I feel like I've just pulled you back onto it.
It's all right. I'm now playing. For the third time, I'm trying to get into it. It's Biomutant. I know. I stood at my game case and I was like, right, what can I play? I need something to play because I'm feeling really down. I need to play something. So I've put this in. It's not that bad. So when I played it the first time, I couldn't deal with the way they talked at you because it was just gibberish, and then a man would narrate over it, and I could not stand that. But they updated it, and you can completely cut that out, the gibberish. So I did that and just got the narrator going on now and again, and I can deal with that. So I'm playing, like, you get to build your weapons, you get to have like powers and stuff. So it's not a bad game. It's just it needs a bit of polish. But I'm enjoying what I'm playing at the moment. So it's just like this big map, massive map, and it points you towards something. You go get it. Like today, I've been in a mech to go and do some stuff in the dangerous zone. There's a mech in it, but then I can also ride this thing that looks like a horse but isn't quite a horse. Or I
We
can
call them
climb
donkeys, Anna.
I can climb up a mountain by the yellow bricks that are going up the wall. I've just this recently got a water ski. It's got all of these things in it, and it has numbers, and it has like.
Oh God!
I love numbers. I love it, and it's also got like, you know, when you're in comics and it goes bang or click or just things like that.
That's another thing that I would have said was an absolute must for a perfect. If I was designing an Anna game, it would have comic book boof and blammo and
all that,
and the numbers would be streaming up, and there'd probably be some sort of like wisecracking robot, and it's just.
I've got a little robot that sits on my arm. It looks like a grasshopper.
Yeah, this seems perfect.
Yeah, he's my friend, my little robot friend. So it's not bad. It came out May last year, I want to say. I've seen it for like dirt cheap, but apparently it did sell in 1 million copies. It did get its cost back, so maybe they'll make
game maker
another one.
wants to break even.
But like you go around, so it's like a wasteland, and you go and like go down in like caves and old bunkers, and then you find like scrap, and then that scrap can be used to make massive like two-handed swords. But they've also got like legendary ones and common or grand like statuses on them. So yeah, I think this will keep me going for the week. I tried to play Ghosts again, but I went in it as I'm on the second part of the island, and I was like, I don't know how to fight. That's the thing with that game. The game is beautiful, like, it's so nice, but I am up in there, and I was like, I have no idea how to fight. I was getting my butt handed to me constantly, so I turned it off, because I don't need that kind of stress in my life today. But Biomutant, yeah. Go play if you want something weird and quirky. It's got all these things.
So that's a good segue. Speaking of weird and quirky, and if you get bored of that one, I was ranting about Amazon earlier, but I do feel like they did redeem themselves with a very bizarre recommendation when I was buying the digital copy of Legends Arceus. They said if you're buying this, you might also want to buy a little game called Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. And I was like, what? Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I've got it on Steam.
Is it good?
I don't know, I've not played it.
It looks well up my street. The advert is tax bill. You owe a ton of property tax for your greenhouse. You have until like yesterday to pay it. Failure to pay will give Mayor Onion the deed to your house. Total owed, whatever. Sincerely, the government. And you have the choice of ripping it up or reading it.
I got a letter a lot like that this week. Very alarming.
All these random little pictures from the game. Like, what do you mean, what? You committed tax evasion. And then you have to go and play the game, I guess. But, yeah, I'm looking at that thinking, Amazon just send me stuff now and again. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's gone on my remember list for a time when I'm doing an Anna and I've got nothing to play. But that looks quite funny, and it's quite well rated by the looks of it. It's got loads of like 9.5s out of 10 and 8 out of 10, and it's currently like over 5,000th in the charts. Which, I mean, I don't know whether that's good or bad. But no, I just thought the name alone had me like, right, tell me more. If you've got it, Pab, maybe you should play it and talk about it on your podcast.
Yeah, Pab. In fact, I've got a bone to pick with Pab.
Oh, geez, not again.
Get another advert in because we're doing a long one. You're gonna stick another advert in, and then I've got a bone to pick with you. Right, Pabby, this Fire Emblem game that you've had me playing.
Yeah,
it's very, very good.
It's just a quick game, Kev.
I've spent more time playing this game this week than I care to admit.
He takes it in the car when I have to go to the hospital.
While he's driving.
Twice this week he's done this.
Yeah, twice I've sat in the car in the cold with 2 coats on playing this game. It is excellent, but I feel like all of this was just an evil Pab plan to set me up for disappointment, because I have got through, after hours upon, I don't even know how many hours, I have to check how many hours, I've got through to what I think is the final battle. It feels like the culmination of the story. I've got all the way through here, never failing at a battle at any point. I have failed at this final battle 4 times in a row. I just don't think my squad is strong enough to do this final battle. And there's nothing I can do about it, because the only way to level them up is to go back and replay the entire game again. I am furious with you that you have set me up to get to this point in this game only to not finish it. I mean, I was probably going to have to go back and replay parts of it anyway, because the stories are so unique and different, and you've got the 3 different houses, and you've got key decisions you can make to go on different sides of all of this, and yeah, it's awesome, but I now feel like I'm at the point where I don't think I can finish the game, because I mean, I can't see how I win this battle, but there's nothing I can do about it to level up my squad.
What's the problem? Are you like, is it saved and then the battle starts? And
Well, it's not even that. It's that obviously it's been saving all the way through. You level up doing battles along the way and doing all of the tasks in the school and teaching your students and focusing on different areas and doing all this kind of stuff. So, I've built a squad that the battle before, just like pretty much every battle before that, just wiped the floor with them. No problem. Never any fear of there being any issue. This one...
And there's nothing quirky, like you could replace the weapons and you've not been doing it.
No, I don't think so. It's just got really hard all of a sudden.
Sounds
and it's upsetting.
It sounds a little bit like the similar time when you were playing Pokemon a few months ago, maybe. And you got right to the end, and then you got your backside anti on that one as well. So maybe it's a you problem rather than a me problem.
No, don't think so.
No, to be fair, Pab, Cynthia was quite hard. I did beat her first time, but I went into that thinking I'm prepared, and then I was like, okay, this is taking. I mean, it took way longer than I expected, and I was like, okay, fair play, Kev. I knew what to expect, and it still was hard.
I think the issue with both of them is that it lets you get that far completely trouble-free. So you don't have to learn any of the stuff that you need to know to do the final thing. So there probably is something really obvious that I'm not doing or that I've missed along the way. A key thing, a key class that I should have trained or whatever it might be. But because it's not gently led me up to that, I don't know what I don't know. And all I know is I'm getting thumped every time I try and do this battle. Yeah, exactly.
Is it like a status change thing you could prevent or anything like that? You know,
all it is you've
like
got
a poison move or something.
It's basically got poison. It's basically got 3 bosses, and I've never had 3 bosses on there before. They're all on at the same time, and if I try and do them one after the other, I get flanked and they batter me. If I try and split and take them on at the same time, I get overpowered. If I try and send two-thirds of my units to one of them and have the other third trying to keep the other 2 at bay, they get overpowered, and it's just I'm trying lots of different tactics.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
maybe you should, but I don't know what the order would be. It would just be trial and error to do it.
You're probably allowed to Google it at that point, right?
I mean,
But I wouldn't even know what to Google because there's so many different variations depending on who you've got on your team. Because at this point, there's, I mean, most of the cast of the game could be on either side because it depends which house I went with, who I then recruited to my house. So my makeup of my team and their makeup of their team could be a really unusual combination of the two that when you get down to it, it's like, oh, yeah, you can't win if you do it that way. You needed to make this decision 15 hours earlier because Persona has stuff like that in. Persona has stuff where if you don't do it at the time, that's it.
Can't do it.
You're stuffed, yeah. And I think I've probably just hit one of them, and it's infuriating, and it's all Pab's fault.
I presume have you've got to a point of no return then. At this point, you can't go back and do other things. Then at this point,
no, because I haven't got any rolling saves or anything. And,
no, but I mean, the game just
I'm
won't
on
let
the
you do
battle
it.
screen. When I load it up, it takes me straight to the battle screen. Yeah. So the only thing I can do is buy stuff from the shop or do different certificates if they've already got the qualifications for it.
So I mean, at that point, then
I've got to start it again, Pab, and it's all your fault.
Well, you could look at YouTube videos and just to see if anyone's doing something, you go, oh, I never thought of doing that. But you know what I mean? Just look.
Well, I don't want to do that and risk getting one of the other storylines spoiled.
That's
because
a good point as well.
I'm pure with it at the moment.
Surely, just on the battlefield bit is just purely battlefield stuff. I don't know because I've not played enough of it to see if it's like story stuff comes out in the battlefield. But
well, it will do because it will depend on who's out there.
Yeah, but surely it doesn't.
Oh, it matters.
Oh, I know it matters, but I mean, I'm sure it means like it's pure. It's surely like a point of like how they've played the game, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm just looking for more like a tactics standpoint. You could gain something from just watching a video and seeing if it's doing anything.
I can imagine Kev's not buffing anyone. He's just going in attack. Or
Oh no, I tried I even tried like doing it real nerd style, having my tanky types at the front and then my ranged units behind them and my healers behind them and keeping everybody healed and advancing at like half speed so everyone stayed together in these little groups. I tried to do it properly and at no point there's been no other point in the game I've had to do it that way. I could pretty much just go gung-ho, kill everyone, easy peasy, never any threat, right the way up until this battle. And it's like I'm learning a completely new game in the final battle. And
have you tried handing it to Anna to see whether her superior skills just shine through?
I mean, Anna hasn't even seen any of the mechanics of how the game works, really.
She's played enough games.
And plus, if she did it for me, then I'd just have to snap my Switch and then I've got to buy a third one. Because I'm going to have to start again then anyway, so that's pointless. Basically, Pab, I'm going to have to start the game again. Let me start the game again because I really like it. Can I start the game again, Pab?
You did pick you picked the hardest storyline. You picked the girl with the red team, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the most complex and difficult story timeline to take.
Kevin.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. Yeah, but it was the one that made sense.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair, it was the one that I was going for as well until I read it and I thought, well, I want the one that's more for beginners, which is the blue one. So I went that one.
But he's a baddie.
Not in my timeline. He's not.
No, he's the baddie. He's the one I'm trying to kill, and he just keeps killing me.
Oh, he's just superior, isn't he?
It certainly seems that way. If the roles reversed now, I think I'd win quite easily as him.
I think you just need to get good, mate. I reckon if you... how long does this
Get
fight
good,
take?
Kevin.
About an hour.
You'd be all right. Just stay up tonight and you got 8 attempts
Well,
before the morning.
I think my plan is play Pokemon and then go back to it, have one more go, and if I don't do it the next go, I'm just going to restart and go on down one of the different storylines. And it'll be like playing a new game anyway.
Would you be able to restart without losing your save? So that if you...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, play the new game and then actually you've played it twice now. You do that time and then maybe you go back to that battle and go, right, do you know what? I've got an extra 40 hours worth of a game under my belt. I reckon I can do this. Because you might have an idea while you're playing it. You might beat something else or whatever.
Well, my idea while I'm playing it is that it's all Pab's fault for making me love it.
Yeah, how many hours do you think you put into this? Because I
Must
looked
be
at this.
40, 45 maybe.
Okay. I avoided it because I thought this was going to be like an 80-hour epic, and I just thought.
To be fair, when Kev pointed this out in the week on Twitter, the responses were, I saw someone say, "Oh, I'm on 60 hours in now," and then someone else said, "I did it in 70." So,
Kev sped through it, and he's probably massively underleveled, is he?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
exactly
know.
what's
I don't know.
happened.
I don't know, but
No,
I'm
that
just
is
saying.
exactly what's happened. My point is, it's let me though. It shouldn't let me
Oh,
hit
no,
the
yeah,
final
you're
boss
right.
this
Yeah, yeah,
underleveled.
Yeah, it should
If you
have
did the
ramped up at
penultimate
some
boss
point.
and it was easy, there should be a point. A good game would have had a battle before this one that just smashes you, and you think, right, well, I've got to go level up in this field over here or whatever, wouldn't it? And
Yeah, exactly. There should be multiple points like that, but there
Yeah.
not
it's a bit like Pokemon gyms, isn't it? You can't go down this street until you've got your badge, and then you walk down it after that, and you're like, oh, I can kind of kill everything now. And yeah, it's not paced, which is, it seems a bit mad. But I've had that. I remember Final Fantasy II doing that to me. I got to the end boss and it just annihilated me, and I thought, oh great, I've just wasted all this time. And Final Fantasy 13 did it to me as well. I never completed the final boss on that because it was just a 3-part boss that was just way more powerful than me. But I should say I'd killed everything else. Yeah, that's probably why 13 wasn't a good game for me, and it's worrying that Fire Emblem can do that. That's making me cautious. But the fact that you want to play it again is a good sign, surely.
I just need to know if things work out between me and Dorothea.
Ooh, Dorothea.
Wow.
Padwood, then.
Wow.
No, that's one name that I remembered from the game because I was like, she was in my team at the start. When I first started, I was like, Dorothea, okay. That's probably one of the few. You said any other name I wouldn't have known, but it's like, yeah, well, okay, I know who Dorothea is.
You're such a pervert. But yeah, that's it for me. Has anyone else got any games they want to talk about?
No.
No, I
played a
don't
lot,
think
haven't
so.
you, Kevin?
I mean, I have got the same problem as you in Football Manager. No strikers. I sold my. I moved from Maidenhead in the Vanarama National League to Cardiff in the Championship in a job offer, and sold one of my strikers, and the other one got sent on holiday by my physio, and now I'm strikerless for the next 3 weeks, and I'm like,
You can recall them from holiday, I think.
can you? Oh, I'll do that then.
I think so.
I got a game that day, so I don't know whether he's going to actually make it. 'cause
You
it's like,
probably won't be able to record him for that day, but you should be able to
Okay.
get him back for the next day.
he's going to bloody love me, isn't he? Yeah, I gave you 3 weeks off. Well, guess what? Sold you, mate. But that's a relief. I was like, how am I going to get through this? It's transfer window, so I was going to buy a striker, but I thought, yeah, that's exactly what I need when I need this by 4 other players. But you've got to do that for the Streamer Showdown on Sunday, haven't you, Kevin?
Yeah, we've had. The Streamer Showdown's back, boys and girls. And as ever, I spent an entire working day planning my draft because I like to win the
lying.
Streamer Showdown. And we did the draft on Wednesday night, and then the twist this time was at the end of the draft, everybody's teams were put on a randomizer wheel, and and we all got someone else's squad. So
Except for Zealand.
it's all random, isn't it? And let's face it, Zealand can't draft for Toffee, so it's no advantage to him.
No, I'm just
but,
saying, like he got his own. So
Yeah, so we've all got a disadvantage. Everyone else has got to play with someone else's squad. He's got to play with his own. It's
The
not fair on any
faces,
of us.
was so funny.
But yeah, so I've spent this afternoon before Pokemon turned up trying to work out how to play anything resembling my style with a squad someone else has put together that only has one goalkeeper in the squad, which I'm furious about. That's just incompetence. And I don't really have any strikers. The only out-and-out strikers I've got are Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins, and they're not really showdown-winning level strikers. So I had Timo Werner and Gabriel Jesus before, who are FM meta players. They would have been perfect. And now I've got to do without them. So I've got some guy called Salah who's apparently quite good that I'll have a look at. And we'll figure it out. I've got all the attacking midfielders. I've got Havertz, I've got Rashford, I've got Foden, Salah. So we'll do something strikerless maybe. We'll figure something out. But I'm not amused. I'll still win it, but I'll win it begrudgingly.
Yeah, you just won't shake anybody's hand at the end, and you won't accept any applause.
Exactly, and I'll save the prize money rather than spending it. That'll learn them.
But no, it's a good twist. I was quite impressed when I heard about it. I need to go. Actually, I didn't think about going back and checking the video to see how you all react. That sounds quite entertaining, Anna. Thanks for that nod.
There is a picture floating around on Twitter where someone screenshot the moment where we were all told, all 9 of us, and there are some faces that are pulled for sure.
Excellent, very good.
But we will wrap things up there for this extended special Pokemon podcast, which is what we've done this week, boys and girls. Make sure you follow us on the internet. You follow me at Lelujo.
And you can find me and talking about more Pokemon stuff at RB6K.
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
And I'm at Pab 1986.
And we will see you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, folks.